This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So I have given the username and password as like this and clicked on login. So now we will enter into the Pega platform or the Pega platform application. Last time when we were discussing about Pega platform, I was showing you the 7.2 version. I was showing you the 7.2 version. So at my end, I don't have 7.2 version personal edition. I have only 7.4. So I just would like to teach you in the 7.4 itself. But there is no major difference between 7.2 and 7.4. Everything looks like the same. Okay. So this is the portal which we have whenever we log into the using administrator pega.com, then it will open a designer portal. Can you see a designer studio? So this is the designer studio portal, right? So the application in which we have logged in is Pega rules, but we want to log in means we want to create our own application. So whenever we are going to create our own application, as discussed, what we said, like we will be creating what is like we'll be creating an application. Maybe it may be a uh, which we create from the scratch, or it may be an application which is already built, but you want to extend that application. So you can create in two ways. So in Pega there are two types of applications. One is framework application and next one is implementation application. Okay, so there are two types. Either you can go with the framework application or you can go directly with the implementation layer application. So first what we do is we'll first create a framework application. How to create a framework application? So to create a framework application, you have to click on this Pega rules. This is we call as application menu. Click on this application menu. Can you see new application? So click on this new application. So a new application wizard is open for you. We call this as new application wizard. New application wizard. So in this new application wizard, we have to select one of the applications. So what type of application you want to create? Already there are some applications called as request approval, service request, task tracker, and also if you want to search for any other thing which is not shown on this, you can click on the search all types. But here we want to create our own application, right? We want to create a custom application. Then you have to click on custom. So when you click on the custom, do you want to use this as an application type? Yes, of course we want to use this as an application type. So click on this, use this application type. So what could be the where do you want to use this particular application? Whether it is only for the tablet, or whether it is for the mobiles, or whether it is for the any type of channel. We say these all as channels, as we discussed, right? So we want here our application to be used in any of the channels. So that's why we select responsive. So when we click on responsive, our application will work on all devices. Then this is the what is like it mostly talks about the UI, which type of UI you want. We'll take the default one. Anything is fine. We'll take the default one. Then you have to name your application name. So our application, as I said, we want to go for bank. Last time I said, right, we want to go for bank, then we can go for a bank. Or if we want to go for a new application, then we can go for a new application. Let us take new application name as hospital management. So we are going to create a application for the hospitals, hospital management. In the same way, in the 7.2, as I said you, to click on configure advanced configuration, you can also click on this advanced configuration 7.4. So when you click on this 7.4, it will ask you what type of application do you want to create. Did I say there are two types of applications, framework or implementation. So let us create a framework. So when you create a framework, what happens is all the common policies or all the common assets of your application, you keep it as a one layer. That is your framework layer. On top of it, you will be creating a new application which is which will reuse all the rules or all the assets which are there in the framework layer. That means already 70% of the work is done by your framework. The rest of the work which you want to complete, you will be completing in the implementation layer. So this type of framework you can give it to any hospitals. Okay, but when it comes to only single hospital or a respective hospital, for that respective hospital you will create an application on top of the framework layer. So let us go with the application ID as hospital management. Okay, by default it takes only 8 characters. You can extend it to 16 characters. So I'm extending it to another 12 characters, that is hospital management. And it also gives the application name, application version, that is 01.01.01. So anyways we are giving. So what is the organization name? Any organization name you can give. So I'll go with the organization name IIM. Okay, I'm simply taking an organization name as IIM. So organization name as IIM. That means our hospital management, which we are creating, the organization of that particular is name is IIM. Okay. So their class structure also changed to IIM. Okay, we'll discuss about this class structure. What is this class structure and all those things. As we said, it is created on framework. Can you see here? There is something called as framework over here. So it will create a class structure as framework. So whenever we see this FW, that means it is a framework layer. So click on save. Okay, I think it's already created. What we'll take then? I'll take food 365. Okay, it's an application. It's like a food order online. Okay, so I'll go with the same organization. I am okay, 365. Click on save. So our application name is not hospital management, it is food 365. Okay, so you can give an application name over here and click on advanced configuration. In the advanced configuration, you will be giving your application ID, and also you'll specify the organization name, right? And it will create a class structure by default like this. Then what about division? You can also give your division name. For example, if your application has so many divisions, or if your application which you want to create has so many divisions in the same area, then you create application based upon the division also. So division has only limited reusable rules. The same way unit in that particular division. Okay. So click on save, create an application. So click on create an application. So once you click on create application, it will ask you to create operators to the application. It will ask you to create the operators. Operators are the one who want to work on the application. Generally, you have an application. Someone has to work on it, right? Someone has to create all the assets of the application. Then those someone, I mean to say like all the developers. Whoever the developers are there, they have to work on this, right? So for that, we are going to create the users. Okay, we are going to create the users. So generally it's a framework layer. So I'll create one of the username. So generally it's a company username. So I'll give it as iim.com. So organization name is IIM. So I'm giving an organization. So you have to ask who are the what is the user doing here, means what is the work he has to do. So we'll go with the admin. So click on add. So one user has been created for the food 365 application. Default email account was not valid, please contact. Okay, okay, let me click on done. Go to records. In the ordination, we'll see operator ID, whether the operator ID is created or not. It is created here. This is all for debugging purpose, what I'm doing. Later I'll tell you what is this all. So generally has been created. So we'll go to the security. I want to change the password. Okay. So because it has created its own password, so I'm changing the password to some rules, because this is easy for us to remember. So I saved it. So what I do is I log off and log in with the ishwar@iim.com. So log off. Let's see, ishwar@iim.com. Again, it is asking me change the password. Let's see, I'll give the same password. What it will say. Okay, I gave the same password. Generally, we can also do the validation over there. You should not give the same old password and all those things. That we can do it in the later. Okay. So now can you see here? There is application name. Before it was Pega Rules 365. I mean, sorry, Pega Rules. Now it become Food 365 framework, because we have logged in with the ishwar@iim.com. Clear, guys? Right? But on framework, what do you do? Can we create any means, can you use framework directly? Not at all. You can't use framework directly. You have to use, or you have to create an application on top of this particular framework. So let us create some of the reusable components in the framework. So I'm just adding the case type here. So I'll go with the order food. These all things are what is it, like, these are all are new terms to you. Don't worry. As of now you need only what you need only how to create an application, how to create an application. So now you're working on the framework layer. So whatever the common policies, or what are the common assets you have, those all common assets you can create on this Food 365 framework. Suppose you want to add, see, generally when I say a food order online, restaurant is the main one for us. In the same way, customers are important. So in any application, any food order application, customers, restaurants will not change. That means their data won't be changed. So what shall we do is, let us add those data also. Can you see data types over here? So click on these data types, add a data type. So I'll just add only customer here. Submit. Okay. So it is creating a, in the backend it is creating a class, and also it will create a dedicated database table and all those things. See, these are the things which has been created by by Pega itself. We didn't create any fields. Can you see create operator, create date time, operator name? These all things it has created. From where it has been created? From the base classes. Okay, so we just create this. So hope that you worked on framework layer. But can we use framework layer directly? No, we can't use framework layer directly. So what we have to do is we have to log off. We have to go to the administrator@pega.com. Can you see it is now Pega rules? Now again create a new application. Create a new application. So create a new application. Now your application is, it should be Food 365, right? So are you creating from the scratch, or you have already some framework layer? We have some framework layer which we created just now. So you have to select this particular Food 365 framework. Okay, and rest of them is same. Use this application type. Can you see all case types? Whatever the framework layer case types are there, those are all are shown here. Do you want to include? Of course we have to include. Customer, yes, we have to. So generally it should be responsive. Will take nimble. Anything is fine. So now what is your application name? I'll take with this as online food. Online food. Okay, it's just a name which I'm giving of your application. So this is our implementation layer application. So click on advanced configuration again. Now this is our framework. Sorry, this is our implementation. Our application name is online food. What is the organization name? Organization name is IAM, right? And it is asking, do you want any divisions? No, as of now we don't want any division. I'm just checking the class structure. So it is all coming from where? It is coming from the framework layer. Can you see inherits from framework? Yep. So click on save. So create your application. So application is being created. But generally, what are the things it is creating in the backend whenever we are saying that to create application? That we'll see. Okay. So again, it is asking us to create one user for this. So I'll create arjun@im.com. Okay, I'm creating one of the user. So one user for online food, which is of admin privilege. Okay, so it is created, but the password is this one. So let us delete this. I mean, change this password. So how to change this password? Go to records, expand organization. You have operator ID over here. Click on operator ID. Arjun was the operator ID which we have created. Log on to this. Go to security. Click on update password. So I'm giving password name as rules. Either you can go from here or you can log off. And whenever you log in with the Arjun, it will again ask you or recommend us to change the password. So save. So this is Pega rules. Application is what? Pega rules. Now I log in with the Arjun. So what would be our application name now? If I log in with Arjun, what will be the application name? You there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. What would be the application name if I log in with the Arjun?
I am, I guess.
Application name. Generally, when I logged with Ishwar, the application name was Food 365, right? But now we created another application. What's the application name at the time? It was Online Food, right?
Online food,
Online.
yeah.
So when I log in with when I created a user for Online Food, then when I log in with this particular user, then our application should be Online Food. So again, it is asking the rule password. So I'm changing it to rules. Click on change password. And if you look here, our application will be online food. Is it online food or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is online food. Okay. And our application and our username is what? Arjun. Can you see here? This side. Our username is what? Arjun. Okay. Now if you see over here, your order food is built on someone. Yes or no? So your order food is built on what? It's built on framework layer. And that framework layer name we have given as Food 365. Shall we check whether it is built on Food 365 or not? Yes. How to check? You see here application menu. So if you click on this application menu, there is something called as definition. Something called as definition. Click on this definition. So you have some sections over here. One is built on application, enabled components, development branches, application rule sets, presentation, and you have something called as advanced. So as of now, we are only bothered about built on application. So your order food application is built on some other application. What is that application name? Food 365. Yes or no? We built on Food 365, right? So let us open this application. How to open this application? Can you see here there is something called as crosshair icon? So this icon is used for opening the rule, opening this particular application. So click on this application. Now order food is built on Food 365, but Food 365 was built on, are you following? We have created two applications. First we created Food 365, but when we created Food 365, we didn't check any of the frameworks. We directly clicked on custom and the responsive behavior and use this application type and all those things. Directly we did. That means it is created on your Pega platform. So we'll check whether Food 365 framework is created on what. Can you see it is created on Pega rules? Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. What I did first time, I logged in with administrator@pega.com. When I log with administrator@pega.com, it opens Pega rules. On that Pega rules, I created a framework layer for 365. Later, again I want to create a new application. That time, I used Food 365 instead of custom. That means I want to build an application on Food 365. So we built an application called as online food. So your online food is built on Food 365. And your Food 365 is built on Pega rules. So these are the some what is like built on applications. So you have to be careful with the built on applications. Okay.
So
If,
I have a question, sir. Here.
right.
So the build on. I mean, sorry. There were two applications which you created. The first one was
Food
the
360
Food 365, and the second one was on
online.
online food. Yeah. So the these two application is running on Pega rules as for now. Or are these two applications in the same, or is it different, like creating different Pega roles and running on the same application platform?
These are all built on same application platform.
Okay.
Yeah. Built on same application platform. But the difference, what is the difference here? The difference is here, this online food you give only to one organization. You can't give it to everyone. That means it is specific to only that organization or that particular client. I can say it as a client. Instead of saying organization, I can say it as a client. But when coming to this Food 365, it is framework layer. That means we kept all common policies, means all the common rules or common assets in it, which is common to each and every food order. So this can be used as a reference to all other online food applications. So if someone, again the same, for example, client A has come to me and he was asking me to build an application for online food. So what I do is I'll say that it will be completed within 2 months because I have already some 70% of task which is completed by my framework, that is Food 365. I need to create another 30% of the client application. So on top of it, all the 30% which I want, I'll create on the online food application. So now when I have to give it to the client, what I have to give? I have to give online food and as well as food 365.
Okay, sir.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. Now, so we created one application. So this is our application. We call everything in Pega, we call it as rules. Okay, everything in Pega is rules. So when we created an application, your Pega creates a rule in your, in the software, in this tool. Pega creates a rule, and we say that rule as application rule. So this is our application rule, right? This is our application rule. If you see here, the name itself is showing here application rule. If I go with the Pega food 365, then this is our application rule. So what is our application name as? Food 365 framework. Okay, but have you given framework? No, right? You just gave food 365. Framework was attached. That means this is the label. The one which you see here is a label, and the ID here you see, right? ID. This is the actual ID. Means your rule name is this one. If you see on the screen, edit application, application will tell you about the rule type. What is the rule type? So rule type is application. And what's your rule name is? Rule name is food 365. Right? Can you see here? It is showing your name, right? And this is your application name. And what is this? This is just a label to you to show that this is a framework, right? So now this is one application and this is one application, but whenever I have opened this food 365 application, there is something called as application rule sets. Can you see rule set here? Application rule sets, right? So there are 4 rule sets created for here. There is 4 rules created here. Okay, I'm sorry. There is 4 rules created for here. Okay, there are 4 rules created for here online food. In the same way, we'll go with the food 365. There are 4 rule sets created here. 4 rule sets. Okay, what does it mean? Whenever you create any application, that application contains 2 application rule sets and 2 organization rule sets. 2 application rule sets and 2 organization rule sets. So this is online food. Online food is your application. Can you see online food int? That means these 2 are application rule sets. These 2 are what? Application rule sets. And another 2 rules are there. One is IAM, next one is IAM int. What is IAM? Where we have given this IAM?
Organization.
Right. So
Organization, yeah.
yes. So it gives 2 rules for the 2 rule sets for the organization. So for when see we have discussed about ECS, right? Enterprise class structure. So in the enterprise class structure, whenever we create an enterprise class structure, first layer is your Pega platform. First layer is your Pega platform. Can you see this enterprise class structure?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So this was the thing which we learned in the last class, enterprise class structure. So first layer is what? Your base product. Okay, products. Your base product. That is whether it is a Pega 7 or it can be a PRPC. PRPC is the one which is the former version, and the Pega 7 is a new version. And right now it is Pega Infinity, that is Pega 8.1, 8 version. So now we are just discussing about 7 version, right? So this is the base product. On top of this base product, we create one organization layer, and we have framework layer. If you have any division layer, then you have a division layer. On top of it, you'll have your implementation layer. So as per our example, implementation layer is order food, and our framework is food 365. We didn't give any division layer, so it's an optional. and but we gave organization name as what organization name was IAM. So this is how it creates as a class structure in our application. Okay, so this is IAM. Food 365 is a framework, and order food is your implementation layer. So if some other client comes and it also wants the application, then till here it is common to everyone. Pega is common. Their organization might be changing, that we can do it, and we can use this framework layer on top of it. Instead of saying organization IAM, we can write, for example, if it is Wipro, then we'll give organization layer as Wipro, because clients comes to the company, right? So we can give Wipro over here. So that is up to us, right? So for them we create another one. We say them as, so as these people are saying that the implementation layer should be order food, we give order food. If some other client comes and asks us, then we may create them as food online. So that could be one some other application layer, but that will be created on this food 365, because most of the policies or most of the assets were created here itself. So that our job will be done soon. And this is our Pega 7. Now this is one layer, this is one layer, this is one layer, and this is one layer. For each and every layer, Pega creates two rule sets. Right? And for this layer also it creates two rule sets, and the same it also creates for framework layer. For this also it creates two layers, and for this also it creates two rule sets. So for each layer it creates two rule sets. We have seen this. Can you see this? For each, this is application, it created two rule sets. For organization it created. When coming to the food 365 framework, also you have two rule sets, and IAM also it has two rule. I mean organization also two rule sets. So that doesn't mean that it is creating two organization and two end here, because you have seen here also, no, it won't. You don't say that it has been created two times. It is created only one time, but reflecting in two applications. This one, can you see, this one is reflecting in food 365 and also online food. Doesn't mean that you have two things here, only one you have, but it is copied in online food and food 365. Right? Now you have a doubt as what is this particular rule set? What is this rule set? A rule set is a container of rules. What is rule set? A rule set is a container of rules. Rule set is container of rules. Then what is rule? A rule is a logical instruction. A rule is what? A rule is a logical instruction. Suppose you want to find whether credit score is greater than 650 or not. So for that, what we do, we generally write a program for this. We write a condition for this. We say there it has a condition, here we say it has a rule. It has a rule in Pega. So it's a logical instruction. You want to create one variable, like if you want to check for credit score, then credit score should be a variable. Generally we say it as a rule variable or fields. We say these all things. In Pega we say them as a rule which is of property type. So it's a rule, right? When I say rule set, then rule set is also a rule. So everything in Pega is shown or maintained as a rule. Okay, then we have seen here these all things: online food int. Then what does it contain? It contains some set of rules which are packed in this online food, this particular rule set. Okay, so whatever the application rules are available, we keep all them in this particular add rule set thing. Okay, sorry, we store in this online food 0101. Okay, 0101. So how to see a rule now? How to see a rule set? How to check rule sets? Where to check rule sets? We have to go to the records explorer, and if you see the sysadmin, in the sysadmin you'll find something called as rule sets. Okay, you can find all the rule sets which are created on this particular application. But before going to this, we need to talk about the users. Who are the users available for 7.4? Means who are the users, or what are the roles of a team members in an Pega platform? We have to talk about those. Okay, so generally, who will work on the Pega application? So there are two roles which are very important in the Pega application. We call them as case designers and next case participants. So these are the two roles, right? Then who all comes under case designers? Case designers are the one who works on application, who works, instead of saying who works, who develops the application. Case designers are the one who develops the application, and case participants are the one who uses the application, Okay, case designers are the one who develops the application, and case participants are the one who uses the application. Then who are all case designers? Generally, case designers could be a business architect, and they can be LSAs, that can be SSAs, they could be SAs. Generally, we call these three as system architects. Okay, what we can say as system architects. Okay, system architects are LSAs, SSAs, SS. Each and every person will have their own responsibilities. What does business architect do? I said you right, the common policies, common assets. So these all common assets are identified by him, identified by the business architects. What is this? Identified. Okay, such as SLAs, business process, how a business process should be done. So these all things are done by business architect. And coming to LSAs, LSAs will also do the same, like they also find the common assets regarding the application. If business architect is working on a particular entire business process, then LSS might be working on the application, and SSS will monitor SS and work on complex rules, mostly integration, connecting to external application. We call integration as what? Connecting to external application. So these type of rules are created by the SSS. Monitors SS, and then what is SS will do? SS work on UI activities, okay, and creating configuring or resolving the solution, resolving the business process, or resolving the problem, they'll work on it. SS, right? So these are all case designers. If these all work on the platform that is like this. So they work on this particular platform, they will work. Okay, am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. And then what about case participants? So when we talk about case participant, participants are the one who uses the application. So we have two case participants. We say them as case workers and case managers. Okay, so we'll take an example here to understand case worker and case manager. We'll take the same example, order food online. Generally, who will order the food? Customers will order the food. Customers, right? Customers in the sense we can say people, right? So what they can do, they can search for a restaurant, search for the food also in that, and if everything is fine, then they go for ordering the food. That's it. Of course they do payments also, and then do payments. 1 second. Yeah, so they can search for a restaurant, search for food, they can go for ordering the food and then do payments. Now can they approve their, approve their order? Not possible, right? So customers can't approve their order. Generally no, they can't approve, right? Because restaurant manager has to approve the order. So there is something called as, like, we have restaurant, we can say restaurant manager or restaurant people. So what they do is they try to, they approve or reject the order. So if you look into this, there are two types of people working on our application. One is searching for a restaurant, searching for the food, going for the he's going for the payments, right, and waiting for the approval. Once it has been approved, then there is someone else who has to pick the order, right? You can say the delivery boy. Okay, so once it has been approved, so approved, if it is approved, then it is ready for uh, delivery. So in between there are so many processes, we are not bothering about it now as of now. So ready for delivery, so the delivery boy will pick it and deliver it to the customer. And of course he will be asking us, here it's here though he will ask us to rate us. Okay, rate him, sorry. So these are all the things which is happening in the application. So when we look into this particular application, two people are doing work differently. One is, if I talk about the customer is creating the work, processing the work, requesting for the approval, and later it is automatically getting closed. Once if it is done, of course it has to close, right? Automatically closed, right? Can he check any reports? Generally he can go to the view all orders and he can see all his report, but can he check what are the can he check like data from for example, if it is if he is ordering from XYZ restaurant, how many times he has ordered from XYZ restaurant? Those type of data is not available with the customer. Okay, mostly reports are not provided to the customer. So here the customer is creating a work, processing the work, right? Requesting for the approval. Later, after approval, it may be rejected or approval, it will be closed automatically, right? But the restaurant manager is approving it or might be rejecting it, and he can also see how many orders were placed. Either it could be a daily basis, or it could be a daily basis, or it could be a weekly basis. Depends upon the applicant what how we want, or it could be a monthly basis. This fellow can get the report, right? And sometimes reporting manager can also create work. Is it possible or not? He can also create the work, he can also process the work, and he may also wait for the approval. This is where he don't want to eat food from his hotel or his restaurant. He want to buy it from another restaurant. So that time he can also create the work, process the work, wait for the approval, right or not? That means we have two types of works happening here. Okay, the one who cannot approve or cannot see the reports, we call them as case workers. Case workers here are customers. They can only create, process the work, that's it. They can't close a particular work also, or they cannot approve the work also. But coming to the case managers are restaurant managers. Restaurant managers who can create, process, approve, and also generate reports. So these are the roles of the what are the roles for the application. So we have two types of roles. One is case designers and case participants. We are all developers, so we become the case designers. Once we have designed the application, we'll give it to the client. Then the client uses means we'll produce it to the market. That means it will be the production environment. Once it is in production environment, then the case participants will use that particular application. And the case participants could be case workers and case manager. Here in our example, it could be customers or restaurant managers. You can also go for bank application. In the bank application, your manager will be the case manager, and all the employees of bank becomes the case worker. I want to go for a loan, so I have to first meet the clerk. Clerk will ask me to fill the application. Once the application is filled, it is checked by the case worker, that is the clerk, and it will be forwarded to the case manager, where the case manager is the bank manager. The bank manager will approve it, and it may be approval, it may be a rejection. If it is approved, then my loan will be sanctioned. So this is how actually the thing is. But who has created the bank application? Case designers have been created. So who are the case designers? Business architects are in the system architects, where system architects are divided into categorized into three architects: LSS, SSS, SS. LSs are lead system architects, SSs are senior system architects, SS are system architects. So generally when we join into a company, the first designation they give as system architect. System architect, because we have only little bit of knowledge on Pega application. Once we work for 1.5 years, then we'll be moving to SSAs. But to move to the SSA, there is a prerequisite that we have to complete our SSA certification, CSSA certification. So after 4 or 5 years, with other prerequisites, we can go for LSAs. LSA again, prerequisite is 2 certificates. Prerequisite is you have to complete SSA, then you have to start working on LSA part 1 and part 2. Then you can become an LSA. Right? In between, there are so many people in between, like product owner will be there, and system subject matter experts will be there. So this business architect will uh, communicate with these all people. Okay, subject matter experts will be there. There might be some key stakeholders, project stakeholders. So this all comes in between, right? Generally we discuss only about these two. So generally business architect will communicate with this product owner, subject matter expert, key project stakeholders. Okay, am I is it like understood for you?
Yes, sir. One more question. That's
Right,
like you said, the business architect will gather the information of the product owner, the
right,
subject
right.
matter expert. So it's like they have to contact the client and ask for the requirements based on the product. Based on the requirement, we are creating the application here.
Right, true, true. So generally what happens actually here is when client and when client approaches the company, then there will be a meeting over there, like they have a sessions going on. So in these sessions, the product owner, subject matter expert, key product stakeholders, they'll be participating in that particular session or a meeting, where business architects and system architects also will be there. But most of the time, business architect will communicate with the clients. So the client who
Okay,
is giving us problem. Okay. So generally, client we say them as business stakeholders. Okay.
got it,
So
sir.
generally, when we talk about this thing, then let me tell you one thing. So, I'll, so your flow always uh, will be like this. Okay. If I say them this as, sorry, if I say it is a BA, then it is BS. BS means business stakeholders or the clients, and this could be SS, that is system architects. So generally, clients, what the clients will do is they will give us a problem. Okay. This particular problem is configured by the business architects. So this business architects will address this problem. So generally, system architects will resolve the problem. So it will be like this. But when we are going to create any application, there might be so many rules which have to create in it. So what could be the basic rule name? How could be defined? So these all things will be taken care by your subject matter experts. Suppose this fellow business stakeholder has come up with the application, and that application sometimes should show us in different language. Then business architect doesn't know what is that language. Generally, mean he may not know the language. Then there comes a subject matter expert, where all the English rules or all the English vocabulary which we are using in the application, he might be changing into the language which business clients will are looking. Yeah, I'm sorry. So this is what happens. Then what is this product owner doing? Generally, when this fellow business stakeholder will be giving all the requirements are gathered and kept, and these requirements will be given to the product owner. This product owner will check whether the requirements, what are the requirements they have given, are properly done in the given time or not. So you'll be looking into it. And product owner specifically thinks that if, for example, if particular requirement is completed 90%, product owner thinks that it is been not completed itself. Even though it is 90%, we can't say to the product owner saying that it is been completed 90%. He will mark it as not completed, and he will make sure that this is completed in the next given time. So this is all comes under this. We generally discuss this in the Scrum methodology. You can, I mean, maybe you might be knowing about the Scrum methodology, where the Scrum methodology, product owner is the one. We talk about three people over there. Product owner is the one who take care, who will feel that that product he owns the product, and make sure that it will be completed on time, right? So business architect will discuss the or addresses to address the problem. They will communicate with all these people. Am I clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So where is this? So these are the participants. But does it create, means are we going to create these all, means when I say case worker, case manager, it means we are talking about these are all as operators. Okay, we created one operator, like Arjun, we have created one operator. I created Ishwar as an operator, right? So we call them as, either we call them as case designers or we call them as case participants, but it depends upon which portal they are using, right? So if I take this particular example, here our operator name is Arjun, but he is using the designer studio. That means this fellow, sorry, Arjun is the designer here, case designer, because we have seen this as designer studio. We have to have a question now, like how we know that whenever we create an application or whenever we create a user, how we are going to give the designer portal to the user, right? Have we given anywhere designer portal to Arjun? Nothing, right? We have just created an operator ID. Automatically, it has taken the what is like Arjun. Sorry, designer studio. But is there any way possibility of creating a user and making that user as case manager or case worker or designer studio? That we will see. Okay. So before going to see, we have to see this particular thing. I think I have explained you what is this. We call this as Explorer pan. We call this as case type explorer, data type explorer, right? Case type explorer, data type explorer, app explorer, records explorer. What does records explorer will have? A records explorer will have all the rule categories in it. Whatever the rules we are going to create, we create under a rule categories. So all the rule categories available over here. Can you see your application definition? If I expand this application definition, click on application, our applications are shown here, right? Online food 365. Before I have created hospital management. Okay. So these are all some records. These are all, we say them as records explorer. In the records explorer, we can see organization. If you expand organization, there is operator ID. Then what does this operator ID consist of? Operator ID consists of all the operators available in the user. Available in the application. So these are all the operators. Operators are nothing but your users, right? Users. So let me open this particular arjun@in.com. So this is one operator. I'll also open the ishwar@in.com. So this is Arjun profile, and can you see something called as application access? Application access. In this application access, you find access group. You find what? Access group. What is this access group? Access group is a rule which tells you about what is the application you can access. It gives you permission to open an application. Access group is the one which gives you permission to the user to open an application. So if you look into this Arjun operator ID, we have an access group called as online food, and also we have something called as administrators. So what does this mean? Arjun is an operator who has access to view the online food application, but we have given him administrator privilege. What we have given? Administrator privilege. So what is administrator privilege? He can create, he can process, he can do anything on your application. Administrator. He can develop your application. Administrator is the one who can develop the application. So have you created access group? That is our question now. Have we created any access group? So in our class today, what we did? We created an application. Am I true or not? We created an application and we created operator, but we didn't create any access group. But how this access group have come, right? So whenever you create an application, by default, access groups are also created. Whenever you create your application, by default, access groups are also created by your Pega. Why it has to create access groups? Because it has to give permissions to the user on which portal they have to work, right? You can create your own applications, but by default, Pega gives you some access groups to you so that you can work on the application. If there is no access group, then you cannot work on the application. If there is no access group, you cannot work on the application, right? So what are the access groups created? We have to check. Where to check? Again, we have to check in the Records Explorer. Are you following me or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in the Records Explorer, you have to check. So in the Records Explorer, there is a rule category called as security. If you expand security, then you have something called as access group. When you click on this access group, all instances of access groups are shown to you. So I'm clicking. So all instances have been shown to you. Now we'll see what are the access groups created for our application. So I'll apply only for online. So can you see how many access groups created for our application? 4. Can you tell me now why it has been created 4 access groups?
2 for organization.
Sorry?
2 for organization
2 for organization
and 2 for a framework
2
implementation.
for application.
Application, yeah.
Yeah. Any other answer? Think about it. What is the access group generally?
Gives the access to each and every person. Like for one is for user, uh,
Uh-huh.
which user can access. One is for manager,
Right.
who can checks. One is for author. He
And one is
can
for the access. Right.
administration.
Right. When I said access group definition, what we said? Access groups will give you to access the application. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir. It's like, is there any limited access, sir? Like
No. No.
restrictions?
No.
Okay.
You can create any number of access groups. That's not an issue. It depends upon, it depends upon the people working on your application.
Okay,
If it's
sir.
a large project and there are some 10 people involving in the application, means there are 10 people working on the application, then you'll go for 10. For example, if I take an example of college, if I take college, if you are going to create one college website, so who are the access, who will access the college portal? One is students will access.
Yes.
So you need to have student access group, and faculties will have an access group. So in faculties again, HODs should have one access to have to access application, because the portal which HODs will look into and the normal faculties look into will be different. So we have 3 access groups over there. And then we have principal. For principal again, there should be some other access group, because he has to see only the work which has to be done by principal, right? There could be some placements team also. Again, placements access group means their work, whatever their work they have to do, that have to be shown on their portal, right? So see, it depends upon how many users interacting with the to the application. That depends. But if I say customer, then how many access groups you'll have? Do you have thousands of access groups? No, only one, because everyone is a customer. Like if I say students, 1,000 students are there in my college, then definitely it will be one student access group. Everyone will log into that particular application, like that. Okay. So access groups are for what? To give the access to the application. I mean, they have to work on application. So now tell me, uh, now when I was discussing about the roles, who are working on the application, I said, means who will work on application? There are 2 types of roles, right? Case designers and
Case
case
manager.
participants.
Manager.
Did I say that or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. When I say case designers, how many types are there in case designers again? 2.
Caseworkers.
Case designer are what? Business architects and system architects. And when I say case participants, then we have case users and case worker and case manager. So how many users are working? Basically, by default, how many users have to work? 4 users, right or not?
Yes, sir. To
So for
organization and
4
to.
users, yeah, for those 4 users, we should have 4 access groups. So case worker will work on users portal, I mean users access group. Case managers will use managers. Business architects will use authors, and all developers will use administrators. Now understand why 4 access groups are created by default.
Yes.
Because generally these are the 4 people who work on the application. Later we can create any number of users. That depends upon us, right? Now when I say operator, now when I say that I'm creating an application, do you think that only one system architect will work on application? Definitely no, right? There may be some team, right? 10 members might be working on application. Then for all those 10 members, what would be the access group? This would be the, sorry, what would be the access group? What would be the access group? This could be the
Mhm.
access group. Online food administrator. Online food administrator. If I want to give to the users, then I'll give only online food users. If for a manager, then I'll give. If there are 10 managers in particular organization, for all of those operators, I give online food manager. Understood, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Yeah. Now what we do is we create one operator for users, We create one operator for managers. We create one operator for authors. Clear? Shall we create operators? So let us create. Go to Records Explorer, Organization, click on Operator. You can see here create, right? Click on this create. Whom do you want to create? As this is online food, I want to create for the customer. Okay. So let me give the operator name as customer only. It's a sample operator. Or shall I give Ansari? Let me give Ansari. Okay. Ansari it. I'll give operator name as Ansari dot order food, online food. Okay. Click on create and open. So let us give Mr. Sorry, let me give this is a generic one. It's not anyone name. Okay, so don't take it as serious. So let me give customer name. So automatically customer name will come with the, oh, it's not coming. Generally first name and last name will be given as, it will only take it as first name. Okay, so job title I'm not giving anything. So let me give this as .onlinefood@gmail.com. You can give the proper email ID here, no worries. Then access group. So what is the purpose of creating this operator? It is for the customers. So customer is what? Users. So select this access group, click on down arrow and check for food 365 users. Select this particular food 365 users and then select the access group. Okay, so operator ID you have created, but to which organization is belonging to, that you have not specified. If I click on save, then I'll get an error. Can you see? Division or organization are not given. So where do you find? You find in work tab. Can you see this is empty here. If I open Arjun and go for work tab, can you see it is IAM DIV unit? Because we have to, online food is belonging to some organization. We have to show that, because so that it will give you proper routing from here to there. You have to go like this. Like I have shown you this particular screen, right? This one. So there should be some routing between these all things. So how to go? We have to give it to the work tab. So in the same way, here also, you have to go to work tab, click on update. So it is IAM, click expand IAM, expand div, select unit, click on update and save. So your Ansari.online food is created. By default, password will be rules. By default, password will be rules. We'll check whether it is rules or not. We'll check. So what we have to do? Operator ID is created, right? So what I'll do is I'll log off. Let me check what is my operator ID. Ansari.online food. So log off. So now I'll go with food rules. So it should open different portal for us. Can you see here what is the portal? Have you seen the portal name as Caseworker portal? How do you know that this is a Caseworker portal? Because you have selected the access group as what? Online food : users. Okay guys, right? In the same way, log off and again we'll go with the Arjun, right? Arjun @iam.com. rules. Now, as I created this one, let me create another operator ID. So tell me which operator ID I have to create, whether for the managers. So I'll say online food manager. I'll give manager only. Manager dot IIM. Sorry. Dot food online food. Okay, create and open. So now what will be the access group? What should I select access group as?
Administrator.
Food 365 managers. Save. Again it is giving you this error. So go to work tab, update the organization. So, update. Save. So you saved what? You have gone to the manager online. So let me take it. Oh, what happened? Okay, let me do that. So log off. So what was my operator ID? Manager dot online food rules. Login. So now we have to check which portal it is opening. Can you see your case manager portal is opening for you? So this is a portal which users, case participants will work on. This case participant, case manager, it is different portal. Okay, so log off. Now as of now nothing we have created, that's why it is showing nothing over here. No dashboard, nothing. No my work, no pulse, nothing it will show you. Because we didn't create any work at all. So log off. Okay, log off. So I'll go with the Arjun @im.com tools. Okay, so operator ID. Oh, operator ID create. Now I'll go with the author. So let me take as business architect online food. Operator ID, let me give as BA dot this. We have Madhu here, so we'll take Madhu dot online food. Okay, create it. Open. What we have to do now? Select access group. Which access group we have to select? Food 365 authors. Do we get any error? Do we get error now if I save?
Yes, I guess.
Why? Because we didn't update the organizational unit.
Other yeah.
So update. Update. Save. Log off. So I log with the Madhu dot online food rules. Then see we have another portal. We call it as Pega Express portal. Pega Express portal. Can you see Pega Express portal? So from this what you learn? You learn that Pega has 4 portals. Right guys? What are those 4 portals? designer portal, case worker portal, case manager portal, Pega Express portal. So we learned that there are 4 portals. Designer portal is Arjun. Manager portal is Ansari, I think. User portal is no. Manager portal is manager itself. So user portal is Ansari. Pega Express portal. Pega Express portal is not. So we have 4 portals now. Now you should get another doubt here. How portals were assigned? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because when we created our application, when we were creating our operator ID, we are nowhere concerned about portals. We're only discussing about what? Access group, right? If this is my operator ID, we are only considered about access group. Where access group is talking about what? It will give you permission to open an application. How many applications? My question is, how many applications? One or so many applications?
What
Sorry?
is it? One.
One, yes. So access group gives only permission to you to open only one application. And that application here is online food. But have we discussed anywhere saying that for this particular user, you open it as designer portal or user portal, worker portal? Nothing, right? That means something is inside this access group. Something is there in this particular access group. So we have to open this access group. Okay, go to records tab, security, access group. You have these 4 access groups here. I'll filter it. We'll check, right? We'll check all the 4 access groups. When I said it is online food administrator, I click on this. So online food administrator, what does it contain? I said you right. Access group will give you to access one application. Can you see that application name? Application. How many applications? 1 or 2? Only 1. You can't even add. There is no plus here, right? So you can't even add. So that means your access group contains 3 sections. One is application, next is portal, next is roles, right? Your access group will specify which portal have to be opened. Whenever it is administrator, can you see the portal name? Developer, right? And if we see our this one, designer portal, to whom we have given? Arjun, right? So how do we know that Arjun has this one? Because access group is administrator. Then what is there in administrator? Administrator is having portal as developer, right? In the same way, we see users. We see user. Who is a user for us now? Who is a user? User is Ansari. Okay, user is Ansari. I'll open this Ansari. Can you see Food 365 is a user? Oh, I gave Food 365. Let me give this as online 365. Food 365 is the actually it's a framework layer, right? So online food is an application. That is fine. Okay. So online food users. Let us see what this user contains. Again, online food users. One application. But portal is what? PY caseworker. That means whenever it is user, we are giving only which portal? Caseworker portal to them. We'll talk about roles later. Okay. So that means your access group is giving you on which portal you have to work. On which portal you have to work. Right? On which portal you have to work. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Understood? Yeah. So that means we should have some relationship, right? What is that relationship between these all things? If you have an operator, and if you have an application, then if there should be an interaction between your I don't know. Okay, I'm very much poor in drawing the diagrams. Okay, so operator. Okay, let me do like this. So if there should be an interaction with the operator and the application, you need someone in between, and that someone we are saying it as who? Access group. Where in access group? Where in access group? Okay. Uh, okay. Okay. Fine. So let me do it like this. So where in access group? Which one I took here? Uh, this one. Where in access group it contains application name, it contains portal, contains roles. So now it connects instead of connecting directly to application, it will connect to the access group. This access group will connect to the application. This application is already written in your access group. This is already written in your access group. Okay, where this access group contains application, portal, and roles. If my operator name is Arjun, oh my god, then access group was online food administrator, online food administrator. I'm not writing full. Okay, then my application name was online food, portal was developer, and the role was generally role will be administrator. Clear? So this is the relationship between an operator and the application. Is it clear, guys?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Right. So we now understood how to create an application, how to create an operator, and how do we configure an operator to an access group, and what does an access group contains, and how it is giving you the portals. So we also discussed about types of roles which we work on the application, And also we discussed about types of uh, portals, 4 portals, because these 4 portals are there because of 4 access groups. Generally, access groups are created by default with the application. Generally, in 7.4, operators, you are creating your own operators, but coming to 7.2 and 7.1, actually when you create an application itself, it will create your default operators. One operator for administrator, one operator for users, one operator for managers, one operator is for authors. But in 7.4, it is not creating. We ourselves are creating the operators, right? So tomorrow what we do is we discuss about the case types, how to create a case type, what is generally a case type is, how can we go with the case life cycle, how to create the rules. We discuss about this. Today we also discussed about rules and rule sets. Rule set is a container of rules, and rules is a logical instruction. And for each and every layer, there will be 2 rule sets created in your application. One is for the integration and one is for the normal. You can see, right? There was IAM int is for integration. Generally, integration is like if you want to connect with an external application, all the rules which you want to create with an external application are created under int, that is integration, right? So tomorrow we discuss about the case types. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Any doubts till now?
Sir, is there any like possible to get a soft notes or something like that, like
Soft
to
nodes.
practice,
Yeah,
like soft note, hard.
see, this is what which I'm creating now, PPTs as of now.
Okay,
Yeah, if I have it, generally I'll send it to you. Generally,
sure, sir.
this is dynamic, this ad hoc. Whatever I'm doing is ad hoc. There is no proper
Okay,
like proper topics. I'll cover this and that. It is going on upon our discussion. That's it.
okay, sir.
Ishwar,
So,
sir,
Yeah, tell me.
yeah, now you are recording the sessions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you send us now, like this
Sorry.
one, the session which you have recorded today? Can you send me?
Yeah, we'll send. I'll send it.
Yeah,
yeah, you can send me to, sir, so that I can practice through the tool. And
Yep. But first of all, you install the software. You are still in the starting stage. Once the software is installed, then we can do so many things in it.
yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah.
sure, sir, sure, sir.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madhu.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
What do I do?
This conference will now be recorded.
Convert recordings now, I said.